a stuttered start for Barcelona in La Liga, of course, this past weekend with Real Madrid and Atlético opening their accounts with a big fat W. Who's going to take advantage in match number 2? We're going to take a little look next. Today we look for match number 2 in La Liga, that's right, over in Spain. We'll get to that shortly, of course. If you're new, where have you been? Smash your subscribe button, bang it. All things Spanish football related, Papa Rose related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one Ruski, that's right. Real Madrid and, of course, Jude Bellingham and co. Looking the real deal this past weekend. Of course, Barcelona tripping up at the first hurdle, dropping a couple of points already. But bounce back ability is the name of the day. So can they do that this coming match day? We'll take a little look in a second, of course. Big shout out once again to the VIPs. Who are they? They're the bloody patrons. That's right, of course. Big shout out to you guys. But let's get into it and have a look at how we got on, you and I, in the old Super Brew, of course. But of course, recap the results before we get into it. Here they come in all their glory. We started off with a 2-0 win for Vallecano. I went with the draw myself. Oh, it doesn't look good for me. Or it might, I don't know. No, it looks pretty awful for me. We'll see. So 2-0 win it was for Vallecano. I went with a 0-0 draw on that one. Of course, Valencia picked up a 2-1 win against Sevilla. Monstrous result for them early in the calendar. Sociedad and Girona, 1-1 draw on the night there. I went with a 1-0 win myself. Las Palmas and Mallorca with a 1-1 draw. Got the one spot on the nose. Real Madrid 2-0 win over Bilbao. I went with a 2-1 win. Osasuna with a 2-0 win against Celta Vigo. I went with a 0-0 draw on that. Real Betis picked up an away day win as well. 2-1 win for them. I went with the other way with Villarreal. Barcelona could only muster that 0-0 draw against Getafe. I did pick up a 1-0 win against Cádiz, and Alavés got on spot on, and Atlético Madrid 3-1 win over Granada. So, not greatest in my eyes for my own predictions, but we'll see just how well I did in the Super Brew, which of course is coming up in a second. Let's take a little look at the table. I know it's early doors, but Atlético lead the charge. Vallecano up there in second, Madrid, and then Osasuna is early. Going down Celta Vigo, Bilbao, and Almería. We'll see, of course, what that table looks like at the end of the video. But of course, it is time for this. It is the Super Brew, and these are those games, of course. So let's get into it. Of course, take a look at that first one. It's Mallorca. It is Villarreal, of course. No big back. Well, Big Brother Britain Diaz didn't get involved in the last game, which was a surprise. But anyway, they played each other 34 times since 1997. 11 wins for Mallorca, 14 wins for Villarreal, 9 draws, of course. Mallorca unbeaten in the last 6, 75% form for them right now. Their biggest win over Villarreal, 4-0 win, scoring 40 goals in those 34 games. 1.18 goals game ratio. Villarreal, though, 17% form for them right now without a win in 6. 3-0 win was their biggest, though, over Mallorca, scoring 41 goals in those 34 games. 1.21 goals game ratio. The last 6 between these two sides. It's quite tight. We've got 3 wins, though, for Mallorca over the last 6, just a couple for Villarreal, and a draw between the two. Last time around, though, in Mallorca, it was a 4-2 win for Mallorca. Actually, back-to-back wins of Villarreal last season. And, of course, Mallorca with that 1-1 draw against Palmas. Last time around, Villarreal with a 2-1 loss against Real Betis. The odds, though, for this one, heading into this game, are 15-8 is your Mallorca, 11-5 is the draw, 6-4 is your away win here. Tight one, but I am going to back Villarreal. I've got to back him. Diaz is the face of the place, so I'm hoping he can get himself his first start, maybe even a goal as well. Next up, we have Valencia up against Las Palmas, of course, also on Friday, August the 18th. Played each other 14 times since the year 2000. 7 wins for Valencia, 4 for Las Palmas, and we've got 3 draws, of course. Valencia's biggest win, 4-0 win, scoring 23 goals in those 14 games, 1.64 goals game ratio. Up against Las Palmas, of course, biggest win for them, 3-1 win, scoring 15 goals in those 14 games, 1.07 goals game ratio. They come into on 50% form, 1-2 lost to and drawn to. Up against Valencia, winning 5 of the last 6 in all competitions in friendlies, including the opener last time around. Valencia's biggest win was, in fact, their last win in Valencia. It was a 4-0 win back in January 2018. It was in the Copa del Rey. Last time I played, though, in the league in Valencia, was a 1-0 win for Valencia as well. So, of course, the odds right here, right now, we're going to look at the odds. They've got 4-3 on for Valencia, 12-5 the draw, 4-1 is the away win here. As are Valencia back? Are they back to where they belong as contenders? 2-1 win for me in my eyes. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Let's kick on forward to the next one. It's my boys Sociedad up against Celta Vigo. Now, these two sides have played each other 57 times since 1983. 21 wins for Sociedad, 17 wins for Celta Vigo, 19 draws. It's quite evenly matched over the last 30 odd years. Of course, biggest win for Sociedad, 4-1 win, scored 86 goals in this 57 games, 1.51 goals game ratio. That works out to be. Meanwhile, Celta Vigo's biggest win was a 4-1 win, scored 80 goals in this 57 games, 1.4 goals game ratio. They come into this on 67% form for them right now. 2 defeats the past 6, including the opener, up against Sociedad, of course, unbeaten the last 4, 1-2, lost 2. 50% form for them over the last 6. Last time around, they're over in, of course, the Real Arena. It was a 1-1 draw back in February 2023. Sociedad opened up with that draw. Celta Vigo lost with the Osasuna. Of course, the odds for this game, we have 11-8 on. So Sociedad 5-2 to draw, 4-1 as your away win. I've got to back my boys here as well. 2-0 win for Sociedad to get their first win of the campaign and move the bloody chains. That's right. Next up, we have Almeria up against Real Madrid, one of the bigger boys. That's right, coming at you this weekend at that Estadio del Metropolitano. Played 14 times since 2007. Just 1 win for Almeria, 11 wins for Real Madrid, two draws, of course. Almeria's biggest win, their only win, was a 2-0 win, scoring 13 goals in the last 14 games, 0.93 goals game ratio. The biggest win for Real Madrid over Almeria, 8-1 win, 44 goals scored in those 14 games, 3.14 goals game ratio. 58% form, though, for Real Madrid, just 1 win in the last 3. Up against Almeria, just 1 win in the last 6, 42% form for them right now. Last time around, they're over in Almeria, it's just a 2-1 win for Real Madrid. But they have won 6 on the bounce against Almeria. Of course, Real Madrid with a 2-0 win against Bilbao on opening day. Almeria losing at home 2-0 win. So this is the second home game of the season already. But of course the odds 6-1 is your Almeria, 5-2 on is your Real Madrid, and we've got 50-4 is the draw. We're going to back Real Madrid. We're going to back them big as well. 3-0 win for them on the road to take the 3 points and more. That's right. Osasuna against Bilbao also on Saturday, August the 19th. They played each other 46 times in 1983. 14 wins for Osasuna. We've got 19 wins for Bilbao. We've got 13 draws, of course. Osasuna, though, 3-0 win was the biggest win in this 14. Scored 49 goals in this 46 games, 1.07 goals game ratio. Up against Bilbao, though, we've got 55-1 win was the biggest. 60 goals scored in those 46 games, 1.30 goals a game ratio. Osasuna, though, 4 wins in the last 6, 67% form for them right now. Bilbao, without a win in the last 5, need a result and fast. Last round, though, in Osasuna, was a 2-0 win for Osasuna back in May 2023. And actually, Osasuna unbeaten in the last 4 against Bilbao, picking up a couple of wins and a couple of draws. Of course, Osasuna, it's quite tight between the bookies on this one. 9-5 for Osasuna, 70-10 is your Bilbao, and 2-1 is the draw. Which way will you go? Well, I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for the hosts. That's right, Osasuna flexing early doors. Girona up against Getafe in the Battle of the G's. That's into Sunday, August the 20th. Now, these two sides have played 11 times since 2013. 4 wins for Girona, 3 for Getafe, and 4 draws, of course. Biggest win for Girona, 5-1 win, scoring 20 goals in those 11 games, 1.82 goals game ratio. Up against Getafe's biggest win, 4-1 win, scoring 17 goals in those 11 games, 1.55 goals game ratio. Heading into this one, of course, 58% form for Getafe, a couple of defeats in the last 6. Meanwhile, Girona unbeaten in the last 6. I think that includes a result against Blackburn. That's right, the mighty Rovers. Last time around, over in Girona, it was a 3-1 win for Girona back in August 2022. The odds for this one, though, we have 21-20 is your Girona, 3-1 is your away win, 21-10 is the draw here. We're back in a 1-0 win for Girona. They're amazing, the best team going because they beat Blackburn, of course. And a tight game. It was a tight game. Barcelona need to bounce back up against Cadiz next, of course, over at the Olympic Leos Compañeros, whatever that is. Played each other 8 times, 2005, 4 wins for Barcelona, 2 for Cadiz, 2 draws, of course. Barcelona, biggest win over Cadiz, 4-0 win, scoring 12 goals in those 8 games, 1.50 goals a game ratio. Up against Cadiz, biggest win for them, 1-0 win, scoring 5 goals in those 8 games, 0.63 goals game ratio. However, Cadiz winning 5 of the last 6 games, 83% form for them right now. Barcelona just losing once of the last 6. However, 75% form for them heading into this. Last time around, over in Barcelona was a 2-0 win for the champions, of course, back in February 2023. The odds, though, for this one, we've got Barcelona coming at you with 5-1 on for the victory. 11-2 is the draw. 11-1 is the away win here. I'm going to go, of course, with Barcelona. They'll bounce back, surely. 3-0 win for them. And, of course, back in the game they go. Next up, we have Real Betis up against Atlético, the game of the day or the game of the weekend here. These two sides played each other 53 times since 1984. 27 wins for Madrid. We've got 12 wins for Real Betis, and we've got 14 draws, of course. Betis, though, biggest win for them. 2-0 wins for them, scoring just 47 goals in those 53 games, 0.89 goals game ratio. Up against Atletico, scores 77 goals in those 53 games. 5-0 was their biggest win, and a 1.45 goals game ratio when these two sides lock horns, of course. Last time around, they're over in the Benito Villamarín, of course. It was a 2-1 win for Atletico back in October 2022. Atletico opened up with a 3-1 win over Granada, Betis with a 2-1 win over Villarreal. It's a tricky start for them this season, you think, Betis. 11-4 for the victory here, 23-10 is the draw. Even Stevens is, of course, your away win. Going to go with Betis here for the surprise early victory over one of the big boys, Atlético. So 2-1 win in my eyes. Into Monday night we go. It's Deportivo Alavés up against Sevilla. Of course, are Sevilla back? I don't think so. They look a little bit flustered from the first game. Played each other 24 times, these two sides. 4 wins for Alavés, 13 wins for Sevilla, 7 draws, of course. Alavés' biggest win for them, just a 1-0 win, scoring 16 goals in those 24 games, 0.67 goals a game ratio. Up against Sevilla's biggest win, 2-0 win for them, 28 goals scored in those 24 games, 1.17 goals game ratio, of course. Last time around, though, in Alavés, it was a 1-0 win for Sevilla. That was in the Copa del Rey. Meanwhile, last time they played each other in the league in Alavés, it was a 0-0 draw. So Sevilla unbeaten against Alavés over the last 6, picking up 4 wins and a couple of draws. The odds, though, for this game, we have 11-5 for Alavés, 21-10 is the draw, 11-8 is your away win. Going to go with the away side here, 1-0 win for me. That's Sevilla, 3 points in the bag at last. Next up we have, of course, or should I say finally, it's Granada, it's Vallecano. It's on Monday, August the 21st. Played each other 16 times, these two sides. Since 2010, 2 wins for Granada, 10 for Vallecano, 4 draws, of course. Granada, though, biggest win for them, 2-0 win, scoring just 13 goals in those 16 games, 0.81 goals game ratio. Up against Vallecano, of course, scored 4-0 win was their biggest, 26 goals scored in those 16 games, 1.63 goals game ratio. Just 1 defeated past 6 for Vallecano, 58% form for them right now. Granada, of course, 1 defeated past 6, 83% form. However, that 1 defeat was the season opener. Last time around, though, in Granada, was a 2-2 draw back in April 2022. Vallecano unbeaten against Granada over the last 6, picking up 4 wins and a couple of draws. And, of course, they started off with that 2-0 win up against Almería. 13-8 is your Granada, 2-1 is the draw, 9-5 is the away win. We are, of course, backing Vallecano to get at least something out of this game. 1-1 draw in my eyes, guys. Now, that's my last pick, and these are my picks in all their glory. Make sure you take a little snapshot, selfie, whatever you want to do with that, of course. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like. It'll be a familiar name at the top. It'll be Real Madrid with Osasuna, though, and Valencia and Real Betis in decent company right now. And going down, Almería, Celta, Vigo, and Bilbao. That's my picks. Of course, don't forget your picks. The Super Brew, wide open, 100% free. And, of course, see if you can out-predict me, sitting pretty right now in the top 5 in our very own prediction league. That's it, guys. Of course, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell, your non-stop shop for La Liga, Blackburn Rovers, and of course world football right here at Blackburn Rovers. So of course do that, and of course I'll see you back for match number 3, but until then, be safe, and of course subscribe.